banking headlines, the deposits the Green Fund reaches over $103 million by the end of September. Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources says that the newly planned sports fishing harbours will be equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. And the NDMA says people from 8 houses have been evacuated to temporary shelters after their homes suffered flood damage due to heavy rains in the capital Male.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News in English with me, Hafiz Abdul Sattar. And now the news in detail. The deposits to the Green Fund reaches over $103 million by the end of September, Ministry of Finance statistics have shown.
The Ministry of Finance Green Fund report said Maldives received $5.7 million as green tax in September, with tourist resorts the biggest contributor. Green tax is a tax payable by tourists who stay in tourist resorts, integrated tourist resorts, resort hotels, tourist hotels, tourist guest houses, tourist vessels and other such establishments. The report shows that green tax collections stood at $5.7 million in September this year. The largest amount of green tax was collected from resorts during the period with $5.2 million. The report also shows that tourist hotels paid $136,000 in green tax in September. $311,000 were collected from guest houses, while safaris paid $84,000 and $500 was collected from homestays in green tax during this period. Hotels in inhabited islands and tourist guest houses with more than 50 rooms are charged $6 per day, and hotels in residential areas and tourist guest houses with 50 rooms or less are charged $3 per day as green tax. According to the report, the Green Fund balance has reached $103 million as of September. The government has decided to increase green tax rates from 1st January 2025. The tax rate will be increased to $12 for the $6 tax bracket, while the $3 tax bracket will face a rate hike to $6. However, children below the age of 2 will now be exempt from green tax. According to the budget position report, the change in tax rates will see the green tax revenue increase by 95.2% next year, with the estimated revenue to rise by $62.4 million.
Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources Ahmad Shyam says the newly planned sports fishing harbours will be equipped with state-of-the-art facilities.
Burnaboma is an international sports fishing tournament organized by the Maldives Marketing and Public Relations Corporation (MMPRC) Employees Club Visit Maldives Club (VMC) to be held in April and May. Speaking at the ceremony, Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources Ahmad Shyam said the government aims to further expand the sector as the popularity of sport fishing is at an all-time high. Minister Shyam noted the lack of facilities, but revealed the government's plan to expand the sector by developing special facilities for sports fishing in 5 regions of the country. He said that the President's vision is to provide solutions to this growing sports fishing community in the country, as well as to make these harbours fully equipped with the modern facilities for sports fishing enthusiasts throughout the world. The administration has identified 5 regions for the development of these harbours, which will feature facilities such as fish stalls, spaces to organize and manage sports fishing competitions, administrative offices, restaurants, cafes, shops selling fishing gear, and barbecue areas. The Burnaboma tournament is held for the local tourism industry and international sports fishing enthusiasts. The sports fishing tournament will be held in accordance with international standards, which will also include sustainable fishing promotion techniques such as catch and release.
National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) says people from 8 houses have been evacuated to temporary shelters after their homes suffered flood damage due to heavy rains in the capital, Male.
Large parts of the island nation had experienced heavy rains, with Mal the hardest hit according to Maldives Meteorological Service Met Office. After several hours of heavy rain, most roads in the capital were flooded, disrupting traffic while several homes had suffered flood damage. NDMA Chief Executive Hisan Hassan said multiple requests had come in to put in sandbags to prevent flood damage, adding that the authority had given over 5,000 sandbags to the Mal City Council to assist the efforts. He said the NDMA is trying to contact the island councils to check the extent of the damages suffered due to rain, but no island has thus far reported any need for evacuations. NDMA Emergency Management Director Farusha Ali Nasir told PSM News that the Maldives National Defence Force (MNDF) and Ministry of Cities, Local Government and Public Works are assisting the City Council to put up sandbags in 47 houses to prevent flood damage. She revealed that NDMA had received over 100 calls requesting for assistance, with a dozen houses suffering flood damage. Out of the 32 people from 8 houses that suffered the worst damage have now been evacuated to temporary shelters. Heavy rains, strong winds and strong seas will be expected in various parts of the country in the next few days. Met Office urged people to take immediate precautions for possible damage caused by the bad weather. The Met Office also says that the current bad weather is being caused by a strong storm in the Bay of Bengal and one to the south of the country. It has issued white alerts for several parts of the country with strong winds and rough seas forecasted in the next 24 hours. Authorities have also urged seafarers to take extra precautions and avoid sea travel unless absolutely necessary.
Maldives Ports Limited (MPL) and the Island Council have signed an agreement to develop a dockyard in Ihavandu, Halif Atoll.
The agreement was signed by MPL CEO Mohammad Wajih Ibrahim on behalf of MPL, while Ihavandu Council President Ahmad Sobah signed on behalf of the Council. MPL CEO Ibrahim Wajih said the aim is to commence work on the dockyard early next year, with 100,000 acre land already allocated for the project. Wajih said that since the launch of bunkering services in the Maldives by this administration, requests are coming from foreign vessels traveling in the region in need to fix various technical issues. He noted that the dockyard will provide technical support to the vessels, among them repair and maintenance services. He said that the numerous fishing vessels operating in the region have also been requesting for docking services. Wajih added that this service will prove hugely beneficial to local fishermen as well.
The National Hotels and Guest House Association of Maldives (NHGAM), in partnership with Visit Maldives and Maldives Association of Travel Agents and Tour Operators (MATATO), successfully concludes the IM Maldives Roadshow, held from December 17th to 20th in Tbilisi, Georgia and Baku, Azerbaijan. The event strengthened tourism ties between the Maldives and these emerging markets.
Over 300 travel professionals attended the IM Maldives Roadshow across both cities, with 18 Maldivian co-exhibitors representing various sectors of the tourism industry. The event fostered direct business connections and highlighted the Maldives' diverse tourism offerings. The roadshow included presentations on connectivity by Azerbaijan Airlines and Air Arabia, a destination presentation by Visit Maldives, and a showcase of community island tourism projects. More than 40 holiday packages valued at over $50,000 were featured, sponsored by leading Maldivian hotels, guest houses and resorts. The giveaways generated excitement and allowed travel agents to experience the destination firsthand, helping them better promote the Maldives. The roadshow marked a strategic effort to introduce local island tourism to new markets, creating valuable opportunities for NHGAM members to diversify their customer base. The success of the event paves the way for increased tourism from Azerbaijan and Georgia, contributing to the Maldives' growing tourism portfolio. NHGAM is already planning future roadshows as part of its ongoing efforts to promote the Maldives and support sustainable growth in community-based tourism.
U.S. stocks rallies to close out the trading week on Friday, December 20th, after two lackluster sessions is a cooler than expected inflation report and comments from Federal Reserve officials eased worries about the path of interest rates.
The latest inflation report in the form of the Personal Consumption Expenditure (PCE) index showed a 2.4% rise in November on an annual basis, just below the 2.5% estimate of economists polled by Reuters. Consumer spending increased in November in another sign of economic resilience. After the data, traders raised their slightly increased expectations for Fed rate cuts in 2025, now expecting the first one in March and another by October. Before the data, traders saw a roughly 50% chance of a second rate cut by December 2025. On Wednesday, the Fed announced its third interest rate cut of the year but forecast in its Summary of Economic Projections (SEP) just 225 basis point cuts for 2025, down from its September view of 4 cuts, in a note to the economy's continued health and sticky inflation. The announcement sparked a sharp sell-off late on Wednesday, which equities were unable to bounce back from on Thursday. Even with Friday's rally, each of the three major U.S. indexes declined for the week. The S&P 500 gained 63.77 points or 1.09% to end at 5,930.85 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 199.83 points or 1.03% to 19,572.60. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 498.02 points or 1.18% to 42,840.26. The Dow and S&P recorded their biggest daily percentage gains since November 6th.
The United Nations Security Council extends a long-running peacekeeping mission between Syria and the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights for 6 months and expressed concern that military activities in the area could escalate tensions.
Since a lightning rebel offensive ousted Syrian President Bashar al-Assad earlier this month, Israeli troops have moved into the demilitarized zone created after the 1973 Arab-Israeli War that is patrolled by the UN Disengagement Observer Force (UNDOF). Israeli officials have described the move as a limited and temporary measure to ensure the security of Israel's borders, but have given no indication of when the troops might be withdrawn. In the resolution adopted on Friday, the Security Council stressed that both parties must abide by the terms of the 1974 Disengagement of Forces Agreement between Israel and the Syrian Arab Republic and scrupulously observe the ceasefire. It expressed concern that the ongoing military activities conducted by any actor in the area of separation continue to have the potential to escalate tensions between Israel and the Syrian Arab Republic, jeopardize the ceasefire between the two countries, and pose a risk to the local civilian population and United Nations personnel on the ground. Armed forces from Israel and Syria are not allowed in the demilitarized zone, a 400 square kilometers area of separation under the ceasefire agreement.
Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake will travel to the island's largest bilateral lender, China, for talks in January, days after completing a long-delayed foreign debt restructure.
China accounted for more than half of Sri Lanka's bilateral debt at the time of the 2022 economic crash, when Colombo ran out of foreign exchange to pay for essential imports such as food, fuel, and medicines. Its economy is recovering after receiving an International Monetary Fund rescue package and imposing austerity reforms aimed at repairing the government's ruined finances. Leftist Dissanayake came to power in September on a pledge to fight corruption and tightened his grip after his party won a landslide in snap parliamentary polls. Without setting an exact date, Dissanayake told reporters that he will be going to China mid-next month. Dissanayake's first overseas visit as head of state was to neighboring India, where he was given a red carpet welcome by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on December 16. Regional powerhouse India is competing fiercely with China for influence in the Indian Ocean region. Sri Lanka sits astride the world's busiest shipping route, which links the Middle East and East Asia, giving its maritime assets strategic importance. New Delhi has been concerned about Beijing's growing toehold in Sri Lanka, which it sees as being within its sphere of geopolitical influence. Fitch Ratings upgraded Sri Lanka's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to CCC Plus on Friday. Fitch said that while debt restructuring had reduced the government's debt service burden and liquidity risks, it noted that the general government debt per GDP and the interest per revenue ratio are likely to stay high in the medium term.
Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola says that the club will be without defender Ruben Dias for 3 to 4 weeks with a muscle injury, another blow for the reigning champions whose hopes of hanging onto the Premier League title are dwindling.
City travelled to Aston Villa on Saturday hoping to right the ship amid the worst run of results in Guardiola's managerial career that has them languishing fifth in the league table. They also have just one victory to show for their last 11 games across all competitions. Diaz was injured in City's calamitous 2-1 derby loss to Manchester United on Sunday. Fellow defender Manuel Akanji, however, returned to training this week after suffering in an injury earlier this month. City lost to United in spectacular fashion last weekend, leading in the 88th minute before their crosstown rivals scored 2 goals in less than 2 minutes. Guardiola looked disconsolate after and pointed the finger squarely at himself for the shocking run, telling reporters during a long and heartfelt post-game press conference that he is not good enough. His mood had improved by Friday. Just 2 points and 2 places behind Guardiola's team in the league table, Aston Villa will climb over City with a victory on Saturday at Villa Park. Unai Emery's team have also had significantly more success than City in their Champions League campaign, where they are 5th in the standings with 2 games left in the league phase, while City are languishing in 22nd. City lost 1-0 at Villa Park just over a year ago, before rebounding to thrash Emery's side 4-1 in early April. Guardiola said, however, there was little he could glean from those games.
King Charles jokes that he was still alive as he met East London community members at the end of a year in which the British monarch has battled cancer.
The quip, which came after a member of the public asked Charles how he was, followed reports on Friday that the 76-year-old sovereign will continue his cancer treatment into next year. Buckingham Palace sources told Sky News that his treatment has been moving in a positive direction, and as a managed condition, the treatment cycle will continue into next year. The palace announced in February that Charles had been diagnosed with an undisclosed cancer and would withdraw from public life to undergo treatment. The following month, his daughter-in-law Catherine, Princess of Wales, revealed that she too had been diagnosed with cancer and was undergoing chemotherapy. Charles returned to work within 2.5 months and has gradually ramped up his duties during the rest of the year, including making several foreign trips. Friday's event, which saw Charles and Queen Camilla visit Waltham Forest in the east of British capital to celebrate community cohesion, is their final public engagement before they begin their Christmas break. The couple will be joined by other senior royals for their annual festive gatherings at the family's Sandringham estate in Norfolk, eastern England.
And that's all we have for this hour. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant time ahead.